I've had those issues too, trying to get the printer to do what you want it to do.
It's like right when I got like an appointment with a family that I'm going to enroll like several kids, and then
You need those documents now, and it doesn't work. We had a problem with the printer the other day. Our printer, sometimes I'll print something like a flyer, and for some reason the printer thinks that the document that I'm printing, the imaging, is too big for the paper.
okay.
It thinks I have the wrong paper size. And this happened to me yesterday. I hit print, and then I got to doing something else, and then I went to the printer and it wasn't there. So I went back and I hit print again, and I didn't hear the printer come on. I hit print again, and then I said, dummy, it's probably the wrong paper size. So I go to the printer, wake up the screen. Sure enough, hey, this isn't the right paper size. Yes, it is. Print. And it printed out 3 times every single time that I hit it.
Yesterday we couldn't. It was so strange. Like, I was printing our interview packets are, I feel like, obnoxiously long. They're 19 pages.
Right.
But so it prints like 5 pages, and then it says that there's something wrong with my ink. But I'm like, you printed 5 pages just fine.
Yeah.
I took all the cartridges, popped them out, popped them back in, and then it was fine. But I had to do it like 3 times, because every time I'd pop it in, it'd be like, this cartridge is not accepted. I'm like, you accepted it yesterday.
Oh, I know. Technology is just crazy. And then I'm trying to track down a phone issue. I've got a laptop issue. This is probably going to e-waste.
And my poor
next
office
weekend.
mate, like, I'm mumbling not child-friendly words under my breath at the printer, and she's like, she won't even touch our printer.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is sadistic. So.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the scene, do you remember the movie Office Space? Did you ever see that movie?
I think a long time ago.
Long time ago. And at one point, they finally get rid of the copier or printer or whatever, and and there's that scene they shoot out, that they shot out in the field where, they're beating it with a baseball bat and stomping on it, and how many times does that reflect what most people think about a lot of office technology?
Yeah.
Let's take it out and beat it with a baseball bat.
Record.
Well, we're on the air now, so you got to remember that. So you can't say it off the record.
Oh, then
okay.
I won't say it.
Then you won't say it. Anyway, Stacy's here from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and but I can say that's going to e-waste. That one right there is going to e-waste, because I'm tired of fighting with it. It's a lost cause. I could probably find somebody that could fix it, and by the time they got it and they spent the hours that needed to fix it and get it cleaned up and get it working, I could have bought another one. That's the unfortunate thing about technology nowadays, is that a lot of it is, it's not so much the parts. Parts are cheap in some cases. Not in other cases, they're not. But a lot of times it's the labor. It's the time that you have to pay somebody to take the time to figure out what's going on. You know what I could do is I could take it to the guy that found Hunter Biden's laptop and let him work on it. He probably needs some business right now. So anyway, that's a little political question. Stacy, how are you doing? How's Big Brothers Big Sisters going? You were busy yesterday signing up. Some folks.
So my coworker Cindy and I were at a house the majority of yesterday, enrolling 2 kiddos, teenagers. So we'd love to see actually those 2 get matched if somebody's interested in working with a couple teenagers.
Okay. So that's still going on. That's still
going on.
Taking place.
Things are, I think the state is starting to open up. So if you were kind of waiting to sign up, because you're like, what am I going to take a younger person to do? The state is opening up. So
okay. Because you worked really hard to come up with some programs during the COVID restrictions.
Yes.
Are some of those programs still going to be available if people want to use those, or are you really more focused on actually getting...
I do not mind continuing to do virtual things for people that want virtual things, but we have, I'm a people person. We will still do virtual programming or interviews at request, but I really am kind of eager to get back to doing some face-to-face stuff too.
Yeah.
As people feel comfortable with it.
Sure. Yeah, no,
and
it's up to them.
We've got some options. We got a very kind and wonderful donation. We have a plot in the community garden now.
Oh, okay.
We have a box. So,
you're going to be at the open house on Saturday?
I'm planning on it.
Good.
Oh, no, I take that back. I have training on Saturday.
Well.
Our CEO listens to this sometime. I remembered.
So you've got training, but now you have a box, and so that would be available for anybody that...
We've already planted it and things like that, but if people have it, I'm doing a little kind of promo. Because I wasn't really until we got a little plot donated. I was aware of the community garden, but not all the ins and outs. The gate is unlocked all the time. It's really nice in there. So that's even something to,
That could be an activity.
It could be an activity. Myself, my own little sister, and one of our other matches came out and planted. And
What'd you guys plant?
So, everything. We're so excited. We got our first bell pepper, our first chili pepper. We have some marigolds in there. I guess those keep away bugs, which I did not know.
Okay.
I don't have a green thumb, but I haven't killed anything. We're cooperating between 3 people. I haven't killed anything in our box.
It's still alive. That's right.
We've got a chili, bell pepper, and I think we have a squash plant in there, and then some marigolds to kind of keep the bugs away, and some snapdragons. So
okay.
we had fun. We had a little planting day, and
now somebody has to go back and keep an eye on it through the summer.
We've been taking turns, but it's the gates open. There's benches. If you want to go in the evening when it's cooler, or in the morning, that's even an option for somebody to hang out, a match to hang out. If you notice some weeds are growing in someone else's box or our box, or, just kind of pull them out, throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
Just...
be careful with other people's boxes now.
Yes.
You don't want to pull something that you think is a weed.
Yeah. But if you see the little, those little... I can't think of the name of them, but those weeds that grow everywhere in Mexico.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty certain that's a weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another activity. What are some of the other activities that are recommended that people like to do with their matches?
My matches have done so much. So of course restaurants are open now. One of my people on my team, she was a little sister when she was younger, and then she came to work for us. And she was talking about when she had a big sister, going out to eat at a restaurant was kind of a novelty. It wasn't something that her family could either afford or make time for. And so just once in a while being taken, doesn't have to be someplace fancy, but just taken to a restaurant.
That's just a special...
Just kind of makes a kid feel special. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg. We encourage low cost, but just something that maybe some of our kids, don't know. I know we had a little... we have matches in both Artesia and Roswell. And one of the big sisters told me she took her a little somewhere that was a little bit, nicer. Antigua in Roswell is kind of... She took her there, and her little sister was super excited because she'd never eaten somewhere with a cloth napkin before. And so just a chance to practice some table manners, and she was just, it was kind of fun for her. She's like, is it okay to, wipe my mouth on this? Like, just like put the napkin in her lap and practice some table manners.
Yeah, or have somebody come and take your order and fill your tea and...
Just was a nice, something that little girl had never done, before.
Sure.
And she's at that age where anything that seems fancy It was
It's
really
pretty exciting.
cool. Pretty
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Her sister had a doctor's appointment, and, I call and check on my mattress. I didn't know that they were, out of town, but the parent was gracious enough to let me, knock it off my list. And she was so excited. I was like, well, what do you think of the hotel? She's like, it's so fancy. There's like 3 mirrors, and, she's just really excited. So thinking about that, may not be a big deal to you, but to little kid, any new experience can be exciting for
It'd be a good
kids.
thing. So the age group of the kids is in between.
We take children 5 to 17.
5 to 17. Okay.
Obviously, a kid that's 6 or 7 or 8 is going to be really sometimes impressed with the small stuff, which makes it fun. But
that's true. The older ones are
teenagers
like,
also fun because conversationally, you can really have some great. They have their own brand of wisdom. I know my little sister, I've kind of gotten to see a little bit of all of it. I've had her since she was in 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of younger age, and then she's 15 now.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to see.
Sure.
And the kids I work with, too. Of course, I interact with all the different age kids, but.
You get into the teenagers, do you play the game of, whoever picks up the phone first loses?
No, I've never done that one.
Put the phones down, It's whoever picks up the phone and looks at it first is the loser.
She actually does not have a cell phone, which is probably
very different, very unique. So
unique
good for her.
for some of the kids her age.
Yeah,
But
good for her. Not to be able to do that.
But she still loves pancakes. You're never too old for pancakes.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've been told that that's the case. Where do your kids come from? Do they get referred? Do the parents refer them? Do school
Both.
people?
Of course, this year we didn't have as many school referrals because it was a little harder to get them all in one place, until late spring. But we have noticed a huge summers here. Some of these kids have had kind of a weird experience in the fact that they have had to adjust their routines several times. They just got back into school, just kind of got some social time back, and then school let out for the summer.
Right.
And some of these kids are really struggling with loneliness. It seems like I'm hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
And, so we're getting a lot of parents bringing our kids to us.
Okay.
Bringing their kids to us with not just loneliness, but when COVID happened, some of the resources became more scarce. Wait times for counseling and things like that. Or kids couldn't go see their counselors, so they felt disconnected. And some of these kids are really having just a genuinely hard time.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing a lot of parents come to us with kids that are just like genuinely struggling, that just really need to connect to somebody outside the home because they've lost some of those connections over the last year.
Yeah. And so that's where the bigs come in. So who, if you're going to have more kids, you're going to need more bigs. So who do you reach out to and encourage to be a big? What kind of attitude or qualifications does one need to have to be one?
One of the things that we are seeing is we're seeing more kids with trauma in their background.
Wow.
It's just something we've noticed. But I don't want that to be something that scares off potential volunteers. We have great resources on trauma-informed care training through our national office. And really the best treatment for trauma for some kids is just replacing some of those bad memories with good ones. So that's where a big can come in. And there's been tons of research that's come out that just the stability of having a caring adult in your life can kind of heal some of those wounds. One caring adult can offset it, and then the other research I read, 6 caring adults can set up a child completely for success. So can you be one of those 6? Or,
Sure, because you can't be all 6.
Yeah, you can't be all 6, but if you could be one of those 6 people in their lives, they've already probably got parents, school, staff, and other people in their lives. So don't think, well, they've already got enough resources. Why should I step up?
Yeah.
Be number 6.
Be number 6. What is the average time spent that a big has with their...
We really only ask for 4 hours a month.
Okay.
And that doesn't even have to be 4 hours of in-person time.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, it would.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes a phone call when you're busy and can't see your little, or a text that says, how did your day go today? Or a photo. I know one of our matches hasn't been able to meet up, and it's one of the matches that came to plant at the community garden. The big sister sent some photos, you know, of the garden to her little...
Yeah. So she could at least see what was going on, and so that when they did get to
And
meet...
they write letters. They're one of our school-based matches, so the rules are school-based matches meet, you know, at school. But they're still following the rules, but they're still, you know...
Yeah. Writing letters, letter writing, that's almost a lost art now, isn't it?
It is.
Because everybody just communicates with the phones.
It is, but they're kind of one of my special matches where the big sister just drops a note of encouragement in the mail, and her little sister and the family love it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something that comes in the mailbox for the little, but the whole family seems to enjoy it. I mean, I don't get letters anymore, at least not in the form that aren't like bills. You know?
Yeah. No. My mother-in-law used to get letters from, you know, a family friend back home, and it was always fun because her penmanship was not very good. So they would always hand it to me to interpret, because apparently I'm pretty good at filling in gaps. So I can read 3 or 4 words of a sentence and, oh, this is what she's saying. But unfortunately, that lady passed away, and so now there's nobody really writing back and forth with
My
Eunice.
grandma and I used to write letters when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then when we lost her, you know, and she would always write them on fancy stationery.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that's right.
So it was always fun. Or when I was a little kid, she put stickers and stuff on it.
Yeah. So like I said, it's kind of becoming a lost art. So maybe that's something that can be brought back, or would be a way that a big and a little could communicate. That's not part of the 4 hours, but it's still part of the process. And
it's funny, the little, sometimes she's not stellar about writing back. And she has a cell phone now, so they've had other options. But at that point in time, she didn't have.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes there was one phone shared among the family, so I would stop by the house or whatever and check in. And she said, you know, I don't always write back, but I've saved every single one.
Wow.
For months on end.
That's great. We're getting to the end of the segment. If folks want to learn more,
yes,
maybe they have a child that they'd like to have considered, or maybe they'd like to be considered as a potential big, what's the best way to reach out to Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
My cell phone is a great option. I pick it up 90% of the time. If I am talking to another family, you're not going to catch me till I'm out of the interview.
I understand.
She knows that well from yesterday.
That's right. Oh, I did. Look, I totally get it. I'm not.
But that number is 575-910-1882.
You did get my note about your voicemail, though.
Yeah, I'm going to clean out my voicemail today. It's on my to-do list. Jean's keeping me on track.
Well, no, I just try to help. I didn't know if you knew. You may have already known. You may have decided you didn't want any more voicemail.
So, see, that brings up back to my point that we're getting a lot of kid inquiries.
Yes,
and we need volunteers. And then you can also look us up online.
Okay.
Just Google Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Southeastern New Mexico.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yep.
And I talked to, who's the lady in Roswell?
Kim is usually the one that picks up the phone.
Yeah, that's who I think I talked to. So she's very nice. And
she's not from around here. So if you she's from the South Louisiana area. So
really?
It's kind of fun to hear a little bit of a different accent.
You tell her that next time that I'm not in the office, you tell people that I'm out of pocket, right? Because I think that's a phrase they would probably use there.
Oh, out of pocket?
Out of pocket. Where is Stacy? She's out of pocket.
Oh, yeah, that sounds...
Yeah. I don't know if she would use that phrase or not. Because Louisiana, it's different parts of Louisiana, too. So she's from northern part or southern part?
I can't remember.
Is she a Cajun?
Not Cajun, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to talk more.
Yeah.
Put her on the radio so we can hear the accent.
There we go.
Would that be good? Or she
just
probably
call the office and ask about becoming a VIG.
There you go. Then you can hear.
You can hear the accent, and you can do something good.
Yeah, I can't right now. Our phones are not working in the studio, so. I broke the phones, Stacy. I broke them.
I broke my printer the other day, so we're all even.
You know, and I'm supposed to get Aaron on the air, but this computer's messed up, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I can get him on the air this way. You won't be able to see him, but you will be able to hear him.
I didn't realize it was being videotaped the first time that I got on the air.
I'm sorry. We should probably have a sign.
No, it was like years ago, and our CEO called me, and he was like, hey, I saw you on the radio. Good job. And I'm like, what do you mean you saw me on the radio? And then it was like they had a mini watch party at the office, but I got made fun of because I was nervous and I was swiveling my chair back and forth.
Oh, you shouldn't do that.
So now I don't tell them when I'm on the radio.
Yeah. Well, we do post it later, and they may find out.
They may find out. No, I'm just kidding. It's on the company calendar. I have to put it on there.
Yeah, and I think Tanner, who's posting this, he tries to tag people on social media, so he may tag you anyway. So
it's okay. I've healed since then, for the most part. Obviously not all the way because I brought it up.
That's right. Well, Stacy, thank you so much for your time.
Have a great day.
You too. And we're going to